So when you set the stage for a demo, there are really two different things you can do. And this depends on what the prep has been coming in and what stage we're at. In an earlier stage, we don't know a ton about this prospect yet. And there's going to be a ton of discovery that we need to do. So the first thing you do is you say, while I pull my screen up, and then you ask him a question. And you're going to ask him a question that's going to get to outcome and impact as quickly as possible. So at Pave, that meant anytime I was starting an early stage demo, saying, hey, by the way, while I pull this screen up real quick, are you looking at a tool to run comp cycles because people have been overspending? Like, are you over budget or what's going on there? You get one free question every single time because they perceive it as you trying to kill dead air. The other kind of demo is later stage. That's where you know what all the outcomes are. That's when you're presenting to leadership. This is the big pitch. As you're pulling it up, what you do is you reiterate the precise outcomes that you already know that they want to drive. Again, this isn't, I'm about to take you through the product. This is, now what we've been talking about is how you're going to run the most efficient cycles on the planet so that we stay under budget every single time. Then you get into the demo.
So you ask your freebie question and they're like, yeah, our comp cycle's been running over. Yeah, it's been an operational pain. Oh my God, we're getting a little bit too big for these spreadsheets. And now it's time to kick off. Where do you actually decide to start in your demo? I'm curious, how you think about the entry point into the story.
The entry point's always going to be based on what their problem is and what outcome they need to drive. I actually think about what most people think about as one demo is probably 15 little demos in between. So it's on you to pick that right entry point. So if somebody tells me that people are making mistakes, then what we'll start with is, here's how we're going to make sure that they don't make mistakes. And those are going to be different features than if they tell me that they have a problem with budget planning. And those are going to be different features than if they tell me they have a problem with single source of truth.
So let's do an example here. And I want to go back to that initial framework that you gave on demoing the why. So pick any example feature starting point in a demo. Could you give us an example of what a crappy version would sound like? And then what a better version would sound like when you're demoing something?
As you know, one of the things at the top of the Pave compensation planner is your budget. So it tracks what's the denominator, how much do you have to spend? And then while you make decisions, it starts adding it up and it tells you if you're over or under. The bad way to demo that is to say, budgets are at the top. The denominator here is how much you've allocated. The numerator is how much the planner has spent. I'll show you if you scroll down, I can enter a number. We're going to take them over budget. And now the color of the bar is going to go from green to red. That's the bad way. That's just describing the feature. The good way is to talk about planners. They generally want to make good decisions. They don't want to go over budget. When they go over budget, it's because they didn't know what the budget was and they didn't know how much they were spending. So what we do is we make it obvious. We put it in their face. Have you gone over or are you still good? That way, when planners are making decisions, they can actually do it, keeping budget in mind. And then what you get is you get submissions that you don't have to chase down and fix. You get submissions that are actually aligned to the philosophy.